I'm anticipating that by the time we get to the end of 2025, we're talking 2 years, we're going to see total inflows of more than $150 billion. We're only at 5 right now.
And what is going to propel? That's a big claim. That's a big number. What's going to propel that?
It really isn't all that big when you do the simple arithmetic. Individual investment advisors, independents, those that are operating their own firms, collectively manage around $8 trillion in assets, and 3/4 of them in every industry survey done by DAC-FP as well as by Bitwise all show that 3/4 of advisors say that they're going to allocate to these ETFs and that their average allocation is going to be about 2.5% of assets. Do the arithmetic. $8 trillion times 77% times 2.5% is $150 billion worth of flows. And that's just independent advisors. It excludes the wirehouses, it excludes the regional broker-dealers, it excludes the institutional investors.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode to What Happened Crypto. All right, man, what's happening in crypto, man? What's new with Bitcoin?
So I found this very interesting statistic from Rick Adelman. He's the founder of the Digital Assets Council. So during one of his interviews, he talked about they actually conducted a survey to all the individual advisors, wealth advisors, and 3/4 of them said that they will allocate assets to Bitcoin ETF. And they asked them what is the percentage of the ETF that they will be allocating if they do allocate to the Bitcoin ETF. And the survey says that they will allocate about 2 to 3% of their assets, and that's only for individual advisors. That's not including wirehouses, broker dealers, and institutional investors. So he basically did a really quick math, right? In the advisory markets, they are advising about $8 trillion worth of assets. And if 3/4 of them are planning to advise some of their clients' money into buying a Bitcoin ETF, that would be 75% of $8 trillion. And if they allocate about 2.5% of those money, of the 3/4 of them that allocate, you can see the math, 8 trillion times 75% times 2.5%, that would be about $150 billion that will be buying the Bitcoin ETF in the coming future.
Well, that's crazy. So $150 billion is what? Basically 1/10, almost like 2/10 of the market cap of Bitcoin.
Yeah. Bitcoin market cap right now is about 1 trillion. So that would be about 15% of the market cap.
Wow, that's crazy. So with that kind of
Yeah.
money, would we even be able to support that kind of like inflow coming in?
It's a very good question. I think it will have a big impact on the price because remember, a lot of the Bitcoin supplies are not have not changed hands for years. A lot of them are long-term holders, and so that means that they are not easily selling any of those Bitcoin to the Bitcoin ETF. So when we say 15% of the market cap, but really, I mean, I'm just estimating about 50 to 70% of those Bitcoins are not moving hands, and will not be moving hands unless the price is really, really good. So we're only talking about liquid Bitcoin on maybe 10 to 20% that's available for people in the open market to buy. So $150 billion would definitely move the Bitcoin price a lot.
Just for context, it's $150 billion that's trying to buy what remains of maybe 10% of the Bitcoin supply that's like available to be sold. Maybe,
yeah. And we're not even including the institution investors, brokerage, and wirehouses. So those are another, source of buying pressures coming into Bitcoin as well.
looking pretty bullish then.
Yeah. So if we, let's do a fun, Bitcoin price prediction. So if you go to the other tweet that talks about the history of Bitcoin from Timothy Peterson. So he did a little bit of research on the history of Bitcoin prices. So within the last 180 days, Bitcoin just increased by 100%. And in the history of Bitcoin, whenever within 180 days, when Bitcoin price make a 100% gain, what would happen to the price of Bitcoin after this 180 days and look forward for 180 days? And this is what he found. This is the price charts that he found. And on average, he's saying that on average, when this happens, the next 180 days, Bitcoin will increase by 100% on average. So if the price is 50,000 right now,
Yeah.
on average, the next 180 days, Bitcoin will increase by 100% on average. So that means that will hit 100,000
Okay.
in 6 months.
Wow, 100,000, that round number, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty exciting, but
Anyways, this is speculation, of course.
exactly,
Not finance.
exactly. We don't know exactly, but it's good to have, the history on your side,
Yeah.
the statistics that shows this
Yeah.
kind of return in the next 6 months.
Exactly. Cool, man. Is there anything else?
No, man. Just hope you guys don't screw this one up in this cycle.
All right, yeah. We'll try to stick with that advice.